なんとかさん、はい、ちょっと鼻水ですとか言ってやるんだけど、その時に右手と左手を、片方ティッシュ、片方ハンカチでこうやってあげて、ちゃんと持ってるか把握して、
What? Welcome to the Lazy Fluency podcast, where we have casual conversations switched between English and Japanese so that you can learn from and with us along the way. I'm Joey,
and I'm Miami.
And the topic of the day is cleanliness. Before we get into that, make sure to like, subscribe, follow, and or drop a review whatever platform you're listening on. We appreciate the support. And with that out of the way, cleanliness. You may have heard that Japan is really clean. Well, it is. And today we're going to talk about why. We've sectioned this off into a bunch of different categories because cleanliness shows its ways in many different ways. But Aimi, do you want to start? Like, you're the person who inspired this topic, and there's a difference between America and Japan that kind of sparked this discussion, and it has to do with tissues and handkerchiefs.
まあそうだね。はい、まず多分すごいたくさんの人知ってると思うけど、日本だと絶対に土足で家に上がらないっていうのはあるよね。そこでまあやっぱり綺麗に保ちたい、綺麗を保ちたいか精神があると思う。
Yeah, so no walking with shoes inside your house. I guess specifically, I guess you're not just shoes, but just bringing dirt into the house.
そうだね。あと、そうだね。スリッパ履く人もいるし、スリッパってある？そっち。
I find that so weird. Yeah, we do have them, but the idea isn't to keep the floor clean. The idea is that they're more comfortable to wear, I guess. It's kind of weird because we wear shoes indoors, but at the same time I used to have these big lion slippers that they look like they're eating your feet. I'm not sure if
lion slippers.
Like it's the mouth of a lion.
Lion.
Yeah, you put your feet in their mouth.
へえ、かわいいな。
Yeah,
そうね。
they were comfy.
あとよくさ、アメリカだとバスルームって言った時にバスタブとさ、トイレ便座っていうの、トイレがさ一緒のユニットバスがあるじゃん。
In Japan?
あ、違う。In America.
What do you mean by unit? Everything is like not connected?
確かユニットバスっていうのがシャワー、まあなんていうの、バスタブとシャワーが一緒と、あとトイレがついてる感じ。トイレが一緒の。あれ、形式。
Oh, in the space. Yeah, they're in the same space, but they're not connected. Sometimes the showers, like the shower heads above the bathtub. But they're not. The floor and everything isn't connected. They're like all kind of separately plopped. Here's your bathtub, your toilet.
そうね。それをね、多分ね、ユニットバスっていうのかな。確か忘れちゃったけど、まあそういうのがまあ典型的じゃん、そっちだと。
Yeah.
だけど日本だとそれは結構まあ安めのアパートではあるけど、みんな結構嫌いで、絶対にバスタブと、あとシャワーは絶対別々だし、バスタブの隣にまあ床があって、でそこにシャワーがついてる感じだから、バスタブの中でシャワーを浴びることはない。
Yeah. You have an interesting... How common is it to just have the shower only? Like the apartment that you're in only has a shower.
まあ、あんまりコモンじゃないけど、まあ、狭いところはやっぱそうなるね。あと一人用とか。まあ、場所を選べばだけど、まあ家族の普通の一軒家だとシャワーだけっていうのはない。ちゃんとバスタブとかはついてると思う。
Okay. Well, anyways, back to the handkerchiefs. And I don't know how we quickly tangented.
で、ハンカチ。なんか、この話が、私が教えてるね、ある日本語を勉強してるね、生徒から言われたことで、日本人しかハンカチ持ってないじゃんって言われて、ハンカチって日本のものだったのみたいな。結構衝撃を受け。
I didn't even know about this.Keeping on handkerchiefs. For me, my perspective of this was tissues, the abundance of tissues. Because I personally see tissues as useless. I've never used tissues. And even when I went to Japan, the only reason I had to use tissues was because you, and I don't think other people in general, seem to carry paper towels. Obviously, they're sold, so people do use them. I'm not sure who, but and your mom's like, in terms of paper, maybe is a little crazy with tissues or something, and uses them instead of paper towels for whatever reason. I think that's something you told me.
まあ特殊だからうちは。まあでもそうペーパータオルはキッチンタオルって言うんだよね。そうだけど、まあ普通の人は使ってるよ。けど持ち歩くときによくハンカチを日本人が持ち歩くんだけど、その持ち歩いてる率、どれぐらいの人が持ち歩いてるかっていうので、女の人が9割ぐらいハンカチは持ってて、でよく女子力が高い人はハンカチ持ってるみたいな感じなの。でハンカチ忘れたら、私ちょっと女子力ないわみたいな。
It's like, what would that be the equivalent of? I'm trying to think in America, forgetting perfume or something. But I don't know how common perfume is.
エチケットみたいな感じ。そうそうそう。で、男の人が7割ぐらいだから、まあそれでも半分以上は持ってる。
That's crazy. 70%. That makes me think of like an old Western, like a cowboy movie. And everybody has the handkerchiefs, like they can cover their face with.
あれバンダナじゃないの？また違うよ、あれは。バンダ。
To me, they're the same. Or I guess they are different. But in my head,
また違うよ。
in my head, they're basically the same thing. One just has a design on it.
そうね、そう、バンダナそんな感じで。で、そっちはハンカチっていう存在すらないの？
Well, the thing about the bandanas or handkerchiefs is from my understanding, the use is the exact same. It's like big enough so you can like wipe off whatever you need to clean your hands, and it's kind of used for everything. But no, I don't know if I've ever seen somebody pull out, especially at least in my generation, pull out a handkerchief from their bag or anywhere to do anything with. In America, I definitely think paper towel is king, at least within like my experience and any friend's house. They either have like straight up just towels or paper towels. And most of the time, paper towels are really hygienic, and it's a pain to have to wash towels. So you'll just use paper towels.
あれだな、じゃあ出かけるときは、例えばさ、近くのモールに行ったり、アミューズメントパークとか遊園地とか行ったりするときに、そういうときにはタオルとかは、ペーパータオルとかは持ってかないの？
No. yeah. Despite paper towels being prevalent in the home, have I ever done that? Maybe if we're camping, I bring paper towels, but I might just be a very dirty man. So,
でも結構それ、日本人が持ってるだけだと思うから、それが普通なんじゃない？でもさ、例えばじゃあデパートとかモール行った時に、そこに絶対ペーパータオルはある？ペーパータオルっていうか、なんていうの？あれなんていうんだろう？紙タオル、ペーパータオルか。手洗った後にさ、ちゃんとある。
Oh, yeah. The paper dispensers. Like,
so.
Exactly. But a lot of times it's more common to have like the air drying ones.
なるほどね。なんかそれがね、今時コロナとかもあって、あれ風邪でやるじゃん。だからそれでウイルスが舞っちゃうから、ちょっと中止にしてるとことかも結構まだあって、それで何もないからもうハンカチ使うしかないなっていうのもあるから、例えばトイレとか行ってそういうのがないかもしれないからハンカチ持ってるっていうのもある。
So, just for people to make sure they got that, Japan is so anal about cleanliness. That's okay. So I'll give you my American perspective. You know what? I'll even give a throwback to maybe people who are my age who there's a YouTube, I guess you could say, like, but I don't know what you call it, morning kind of mini podcast. It's called Good Mythical Morning. And when I was much younger, I don't know, like even 10, 15 years ago, Rhett and Link, they run the YouTube channel. They've done it for a very long time. I haven't really followed them for a good part of the last decade, but I used to watch them a lot back in the day. And they made a song called what's called The Perfect Bathroom Trip. And it's about going in the bathroom and not having to touch anything, basically. You want to get through your whole bathroom experience without touching any surfaces. Well, I have this song like memorized from when I was a kid, but the idea is basically that you grab a paper towel, you keep it on you, you use it to like touching the handles, and then like turn on the sink, and then before you leave, you throw the paper towel into the trash can as you walk out, so you don't have to touch anything. But this is all to say that in my head, and I think for many people, because when I was just in Japan recently, it was the first time I've ever heard of the like sensor-based air like dryers being banned because of a lack of cleanliness. The fact that I think there was twofold. One is what you said, that what's it called? It can spread because coronavirus or whatever, it can spread, or it can, what is it? Shoot the particles or whatever, the water particles or whatever. So they were scared of that. I also partially, maybe this was just me thinking that you have to put your hands straight down and like your hands could wobble or something and hit the edges. And apparently that was considered too not cleanly. And so most of the places I was in Japan when I was there, they didn't provide paper towels or any sort of towels to dry your hands, and their air dryers were also disabled. So you just kind of had wet hands.
そうね。まあ場所にもよるけど、そのエアドライヤーが使えないところはちゃんとペーパーもあるけど、その何ももともとペーパータオルを備えるなんていうの、設備がなくて、ただエアドライヤーしかなくて、エアドライヤーがそのコロナがなんかで中止になってるところは何もないから、もうただ自然乾燥で耐えるしかないよね。
Yeah.
そう。もしハンカチ持ってなかったらね、そう。
Yeah.
そうそうそう。
I think when I was looking into this, because so the reason I thought tissues were a topic that was interesting enough to talk about as well as other stuff is because I don't know if I actually mentioned this before, but anytime you see people promoting anything, whether it be like their business or a movie or their food stand or anything like that, it is the only thing I've ever received on the street in Japan is these closed bags of napkins, like with or tissues in them, I guess. They're just plastic bags with some tissues in them, and then they'll have a promotional slip inside them talking about the event.
なんかそのティッシュ広告、まあそもそも多分アメリカにはないよね。で、なんでティッシュ広告するのかっていうのを気になって、調べたら、理由があるらしくて、なんだと思う？理由。
It's inexpensive?
まあそれもあるんじゃない？あとは
What else would it be? It makes you think that the business itself is clean, maybe?
いや、全然そんなことはなく、で、まあ言っちゃうと、ティッシュをもらって困る人はいないじゃん。なんかただのさ、チラシだけもらってさ、そもそも受け取らないじゃん。興味ないから。けど、ティッシュの、ちょっと入れるところがあるのね。表面っていうのかな。そこにチラシを入れれば、ティッシュだけが欲しい人にも、手渡すことできるじゃん。一応、まあ、チラシ興味ないけど、ティッシュもらえるんだったらもらっとこうっつって、で、持って、こういうお店があるんだみたいな、なるから、受け取られやすい。ね。
That's funny. The exact opposite is how I feel about the tissue situation in Japan. Like I said, I don't find tissues being useful at all. I think they're a waste of everything. So the one time I was excited about people handing out posters was when I saw someone handing out a poster in Japan, and I went up and grabbed it, and it was one for Pop Team Epic. They had a season finale of Pop Team Epic advertisement, and I was like, sick. It was a full poster. I mean, I have the poster. I don't have it on me. But every other time when I see people handing tissues, I lose all interest. It's just, what am I supposed to do with that?
確かになんか、どうだろう。なんかそういうさ、チラシっていうのはさ、ある程度好きな人がいて受け取ってくれるじゃん。けどこういうさ、宣伝 企業、
Yeah.
お店とかの宣伝ってさ、まだ誰が好きとかわかんなくて、いろんな人に見てもらいたいじゃん。
Yeah, the people handing them out always look so bummed. I remember just in my head that, and this happened multiple times. I'll take if somebody's handing something out, especially in Japan. I'm too curious. I gotta know what it's about. I'm like the perfect person to be advertised to, especially in Akihabara where all these maid posters. I have a collection of all these maid cafes, but basically we'll walk by, and this probably happened 4 times where. I don't know if this is true, but I mean, I think you agree with me here, Borb. A lot of these people, they cannot be done with their advertising until they've handed out all of their tissue packets.
そう、ノルマがあるの。
I've had-
そう、ノルマがあって、
Yeah.
例えば1日200個配らないといけないってなったら、200個配り切るまで帰れないから、たまにめちゃめちゃ残ってる、その配ってる人がめちゃめちゃ溜まってて、で1人につき2つあげてる人とかいるから、いやそれなしだろうとか思ったけどでもそうでもしないと帰れないから、そうそう。
I remember the desperation of this one guy. I'm not sure if you remember. He had like 6. He just straight up. I grabbed one and he pushed like 4 more, and I just like grabbed all of them as we were leaving the store. And I didn't really think much about it until after the fact, and I was like, it was cold. It was really cold outside, and I just felt really bad for the man.
ね、かわいそうだよね。だからなんなら私さ、結構鼻かむ人だから、結構鼻水で、だからもう全部箱ごともらってもいいんだけど。そう。
花粉症。
そう、花粉症。そう。だから最近結構ティッシュもらうけど、めちゃめちゃありがたいよ。だからちょっと申し訳ないけど、なんか配られた時にチラシが中に入ってるじゃん、宣伝の。
Yeah.
あれを抜き取って、あれはゴミ箱にしててティッシュだけ使うっていうごめんなさいねって感じだけど、まあそうね。
That's actually probably one of the strongest reasons is because people have hay fever.
そうね。
And a lot of people have hay fever.
結構使うよ。
But in terms of the article you linked about the history of it, apparently, I mean, unless you want to go through it, like the Europeans are the ones who brought tissues to Japan, but Japan kind of really liked it, and for some reason, I can't remember what it is, but basically there was something I was reading. I was saying like, when you're a kid, it's kind of one of those things that your parents don't let you leave the house without for some reason. Did you know
そう、
what
な
that
ん
is?
か私の小学校がなんか毎朝チェックするのがあって、そのティッシュとハンカチどっちも持ってるかどうかで、なんかまずさ、元気ですかっていうのを名前呼んで元気ですかって言って、その出席取るのと、あとまあ元気かどうか見るみたいなを毎朝やってて、なんとかさんはい元気ですとか、なんとかさんはいちょっと鼻水ですとか言ってやるんだけど、その時に右手と左手をその片方ティッシュ片方ハンカチでこうやってあげてちゃんと持ってるか把握して、でなんか持ってない子がちょっとズルをすると、なんかハンカチっぽい布をこうやって出してもバレないから例えばそのポーチみたいなポーチ、ちょっとちっちゃめのポーチでちょっと見えないようにすればハンカチ持ってる風になるから、それってそうチェック、まあ要するにチェックされたってこと。そうそうから今はやってるか分かんないけどやってたね、私の小学校は。
What is up with that? Is so okay, what is the difference in use case between a handkerchief and a tissue?
使い分け？
Yeah.
全然違うよ。だからまずティッシュは鼻かんだり、あとなんだろう、汚いの拭いたりとかで、ハンカチはもうメインはあれだね、手洗ってその水を拭くみたいな。
Oh, use that as like a towel. Isn't that what a hand towel's for?
あ、そうタオル、そうハンドタオルってこと。もうハンカチってハンドタオル。
Okay, hold up. Is does hankachi just mean hand towel, or does handkerchief mean handkerchief? I'm so confused. Do you know what handkerchief is? It's like the
薄いね。
triangle?
知ってる。
Yeah.
トライアンゴルなの？
Well, normally you can fold out into one, but it's like a square.
そうそうそう。
Yeah, normally they fold it into a square.
そうね、日本だとね、ハンカチをハンドタオルとして使う。
Okay.
そ
う。So it's just for drying your hand. Oh yeah, the other thing I read, this is starting to make more sense, is I mean, in this I do at least know that it's a thing that happens in temples where washing your hands is a big deal. Or not a big deal, but it's like a common
なんか
thing
お
that
清
people
め
do.
ね、こうやってやる前に、なんかちょっと、ね、
Oh, no, I'm
水、
talking about the...
そうそうそうそう、
exactly.
聖なる水をかけて、なんか清めましょうみたいなやつ。そうそうそう。
Yeah, so maybe but here's the thing, like I said, it doesn't seem I guess it's nice to be able to dry your hands, but I'm saying now, who knows, for the last 3 years, and it's still going on, that like these air dryers aren't being able to use. So I'm walking around with wet hands everywhere. So maybe everybody else has hand towels, and so it's not a problem. But I was just walking around with wet hands and then having to wipe off on my pants, which I guess
意味ないじゃん。
that might be
綺麗にしたの
dirty.
にさ。
But that's my reaction. My pants are my hand towel.
だってズボン汚いのにさ、それを手で入れたらさ、また汚くなるじゃん。
Why are your pants dirty? That's my question. My pants are clean.
いや、そんなことないって絶対汚い。
I mean, what would they be dirty from? The air? They could be dirty from the air.
Air とか、あと絶対こぼしてるじゃん、なんか。知らないうちに。こぼしまだから。
I think the other thing, where was that we have? Are there any like other habits that you think? So the drying off your hands is one thing, but I'm wondering, are there any habits that you think you have that are related to cleanliness? Like maybe stuff that you feel like you have to do? Because I know that cleanliness is a big factor in like what people find to be attractive.
日本だとね、学校で放課後、昼休みか。昼休みとか放課後に掃除タイムっていうのがあって、掃除しないといけないんだよ。
Wait, during your recess? No, after school.
だからランチタイムとか、ランチタイムの後とか、あと放課後 after school.
So after school and during PE, basically, and lunchtime, yeah.
そうに、掃除しなくちゃいけなくて、小学校だと、なんて言うんだろう。そのいろんなね、教室とか廊下とかトイレとかいろいろあるじゃん。場所が決められて、それをなんかローテートする感じで、1週間に1回ローテートして、みんながそれぞれの場所を経験。
How long do you have to do that after school?
2、30分かな。
Wait, 20
分とか30分。2、30分。
Oh, 2、30分。Oh, okay. That's quite a lot. Doesn't that affect like people's like participating in like sport activities after school or anything like that?
だからちゃんと時間が決められてんの。例えばだから3時から3時半まではお掃除タイムだからつって音楽が流れるの。そう。
There's a掃除タイム音楽？
うん。
Do you remember what it goes like?
なんだっけな。忘れたけど、なんか、週っていうかその日によってね、なんかその放送委員の人たちが勝手に選んだりとか、あと掃除のなんかクラシックな感じとかいろいろあるよ。それは学校によって違うけど。
Is the music playing all while you're cleaning up, or is the music just playing to let you know that it's time to start cleaning?
ずっとずっと流れてる感じ。
So if somebody's like really into heavy metal, then you could just be jamming out to heavy metal.
いや、それさすがになんかあるんじゃない？なんかある程度のさ、規定があるんじゃない？こういうのは流していいとか流しちゃダメとか。あんまりロックなの来てもね、ちょっと頭振りすぎて首痛くなっちゃうからさ。もうそういうのはないんで、アメリカだと、なんだ、清掃する人が掃除するの。
Yeah.
Janitors.
Are there... So, maybe I kind of remember talking about this before, but So yeah, in America, janitors handle that. Janitors being people who clean basically everything in the school, and they're paid to do so. But now that I think about it, are janitors a thing in school, like at all in Japan? Do they have janitors? Specifically, people whose primary job it is to clean,
それは
or
あ
is that
る。
handled by other people?
あるある。あるし、なんかそれいても、それプラスで生徒が掃除するから、あんまりいるいないで掃除するしないは関係ないかった、私の学校は。
So what is the point of the janitor?
なんだろう、もうちょっと生徒がやり損なったところをやるとか。
Okay.
そう。
So it's more so that means like the cleaning is really there is more of a way to instill cleaning more so than it is
そう
to
だ
because
し、
if they
あ
still have
と、
yeah
なんだろう、修行みたいな感じ。修行っていうのが仏教みたい
this
な。
I didn't know how to yeah a
なんか
practice.
掃除の精神を育てるみたいな。わかんないけど。そう。
Do you get graded on how well you're able to clean?
まあ少なくともやらないと、怒られるね。
So I mean, what does it mean like yaranaito? It doesn't like. Can you like they realize that you're slacking, you're not doing a good job, or
だって、違う、そうじゃなくて、やらないといけないのに、その時間やらないで、どっか遊びに行ってるとかだと、先生に怒られる。
okay? And everybody, I'm assuming your name is like written out for what, like everybody has a rotating schedule about when they
そう
have
そ
to
う
be
そう、
cleaning.
この、なんか班分けがあって、その班にこう誰々がいるとかなってて、で、その、班員の人たちが、まあ、チクるかもしれないし、チクるってわかる？チクるって、まあ、なんていうの？愚痴っていうか、先生に報告するみたいな。チクる。
Yeah,
そ
to rat. It's
なの
called
か
to
な？
be a snitch.
そうそう。誰かしらがチクると、こいつやってないなってなって、ちょっと、田中くん、なんで掃除してないん
Oh
だ
my
みたいな。
gosh,
そう。
I'm getting anger. I'm getting anger just imagining the Japanese person snitching on somebody else for not
そうそう。
cleaning.
い
I
や
can
ー
already
ね、
imagine
性
it.
格悪い
It's
人いるから
triggering
ね。
me.
そう。
Is but is snitching? So in America and definitely in a lot of like pop culture, like especially rap culture, a bunch of stuff. Snitching. There's a saying called "snitches get stitches," which is basically saying like if you snitch or chikuru, then we'll beat we'll beat you up. Is snitching frowned upon in Japan, or do you think they're like it's like the good like yutose, like exemplary
いや、
student
みん
who's
な嫌わ
snitching?
れると思うよ。チクる人はだって。自分得しないのにさ、チクるってさ、なんか、ただ性格悪いだけじゃん。
Good. Okay, just checking. I just totally I could picture the person. Everybody, Johnny did a good. You know what I'm saying? Johnny did 60% of the work, but you know what I'm saying? Johnny's got stuff to do, and then somebody comes in, Mariko or whatever, and then she goes to the sensei. Johnny-san isn't doing the cleaning.
そうそうそうそうそう。I'll get all the credit みたいな感じの人。そうそう。
Okay, I'm good. I'm good that snitches get stitches wherever we're at. Let me see. I think there's one other, or are there any other ones that come to mind about things that you might do that you don't think maybe on like your daily basis? What about like what's it called? Take like nails, like taking care of your nails, like clipping nails. Is that common, like for men, like filing your nails and things like that?
そんな、人並みに、そんな別に男も女も綺麗にしてるっていうわけではないと思うよ。でも綺麗だったら、この人結構気にしてんだなみたいな感じ。
So people would notice though at the very least.
まあ手見たらね。
Because I know that for a long time, although this has been changing at a decent pace, I think due to America's influence, teeth weren't something that was that like important in Japan in terms of like your perception, like how like white your teeth are or how straight your teeth are.
それは
But
さ、
I know
アメリ
braces
カだ
have been
とすごい。
increasing in commonness.
日本は八重歯が綺麗とか言われてるぐらいだから、可愛いかって言われてるぐらいだから、そんなね、アメリカほど歯は気にしないけど、やっぱ綺麗な人は綺麗にするし、でも
Well, it's not just about the color, but it's also about the like straightness. Like
そうそうそうそうそう。あんまりね、矯正率はね、歯の矯正って言うんだけどね、その
yeah, braces.
braces は、歯の矯正してる人は、多分そっちの方が多いと思うよ。
Oh, I mean, definitely Americans. I think we're probably the braces capital of the world. It's weird. It's like almost seeing, even within like when you don't have, even with like families that don't have that much money, it's something that tends to be prioritized. And it is because dentists I mean, they just exaggerate the shit out of how important it is to get braces. They're like, so I still have both my wisdom teeth because my mouth is big enough to contain them, which is like not common, but I had no issues with my teeth getting moved around or any pain or whatever. So I have a fully in both my wisdom teeth, and the reason they want you to get your wisdom teeth out is because they can like grow in, and then it can become a problem later down the line. But basically anything related to your teeth, you don't clean one thing. Like you're like, I brush 2 times a day, and they're like, you're basically gonna die in 2 years if you don't, or like if anything. I swear, every time you go to the dentist, it's you're always being shamed, and then you're basically like, if you don't do what we say, you don't get braces. I noticed you have so I like lost my retainer. They used to have a plastic retainer that I could put on over my teeth, and I lost that. And there's like a small gap in my front teeth that you can't really see on camera. And just that alone, one time I went to the dentist, and they were like, "Are you interested in getting braces again?" I'm like, "No, what? Paying that for what? Like, this is ridiculous." So yeah, with teeth, yeah, we for some reason take teeth very seriously. I wonder where that comes from.
そうね、日本はあんまり気にするけど、感じかな。
But yeah, hopefully you guys have learned about something related to cleanliness. This was a random topic, but yeah, hopefully that was entertaining. 戻りました。
We are back.
今マスクをつけてるんだけど、なぜかというと、ついに日本の政府はマスクの制限を解禁した。
Yeah, from
めでとう日本。
13th. Yes, bravo.
実は先週の話だけど、
Yeah.
先週に全然話してないから今話してるって感じ。でも、
But I guess,
その、どうぞ。
Like, after the government said that we don't have to wear masks, but still people were wearing masks on the train or like wherever you go, like daily like supermarkets or like stores. Yeah, people are so like concerned. Yeah, especially for older people. Yeah.
この話多分3回4回ぐらいしたことはあると思うんだけど、その政府によると、まずはもちろんマスクつけないといけないおすすめがあった。そのなんか、そのなんていうか、無理やりさせる力がない日本の政府は。でも、そうそのおすすめがどこでもマスクつけた方がいいという、ルールというか、そのルールじゃないけどルールあったんだけど、でそれから何でしたっけ、混んでる時だけでもいい？
Oh, you mean right now?
いや、そのなんていうか歴史的な発展。
No, still we
この前は何でしたっけ？この令和5年3月23日。
if you're outside, you don't have to wear masks. Yeah, before this.
それだけ？
Yeah. But like inside, you have to wear.
なるほど。で、今回は、この mhlw.go.jp、政府に関わるウェブサイトだと思うんだけど、どこ？本人の意思に反してマスクの着脱を強いることがないようご配慮をお願いします。
Yeah, so like basically, it's
個人の判断。
Yeah, up to you whether you want to wear or not. And,
でも
yeah, but there's like some conditions that the government still recommend people should wear. So like when you go to hospitals or like crowded trains, it's better to wear still. And
そうだね。
yeah, yeah, yeah.
感染から守るためにマスク着用は効果的です。高齢者、わらわら。高齢者はつけた方がいいってことなら、
That's the majority.
そう、達成だから。
That's the majority. So that's why I see,
ご自
yeah,
身を
many
感染
people
から
wearing.
守るために、
Yeah.
マスク着用が効果的です。で、
Mhm.
高齢者、基礎疾患を有する方、
Yeah.
sick people
So
と
sick people, yeah.
妊婦。
妊婦ね、pregnant.
ってことは、マスクしない方がいいという人に関しては何割 ?2 割
I don't know, like 50%? I don't
そ
know.
う3
Like,
割
I sometimes see people who are not wearing masks, and then they are mostly young people.
うん、
And right now, one of the reasons they still wear masks is because they are having like hay fever. So
それ
probably
だけ
that's why.
でもコロナの前の時代というか、そのなんていう平均確率、どのぐらい人マスクつけてる確率と今のコロナの後の世界と比べるとどう？花粉症だけの影響だと思う？それともコロナの影響でみんなは花粉症に関してはちょっと敏感になったってこともあるかな。なんかわかる？その前調べたんだけど、何でしたっけ？潔癖症？ Germophobia？
Yeah, 潔癖症。
で、アメリカだと、なんか、詳しくどのサイトから来たかわからないけど、60% ぐらいの人が、アメリカ人でも、自分が、germaphobe だと思ってる人が、60% まで増えた。総合的に。
I just found the reason people don't wanna take masks
off.
Yeah, take masks off. For especially women, they don't want people to see their faces. Like during the pandemic, women didn't wear any makeup around here because it's hidden, so they don't have to wear makeup here. But right now, since they're used to like do like that, so it's like what was it? なんとか dysmorphia, right?
Dysmorphia, body dysmorphia.
Yeah, something like that. So they're like afraid of people seeing their faces.
なんか思ったけど、これはなんかプログレッシブの真逆な世界になってるんじゃないかと思った。なぜかというと、他の国に関してはなんかトゥーバンとかトゥーバンでしたっけ？マスクカバリング？トゥーバンじゃないと思う。女性が顔を隠さなきゃいけないことがあるでしょ？そう。それが、いろんな理由があるかもしれないけど、女性は自分の顔とか、首とか、いろんなところ見せない方がいいという概念があるんだけど、日本だと逆に女性からその行動を始めてるみたいな感じになってるから。
right. They're not forced, but
逆に男じゃなくてなんか無理やりさせてるんじゃなくて、いやめんどくさいからマスクつけたい。
But yeah, but I sometimes feel like if I don't wear masks, there's how do I say?
なんかついてる？
No, something is missing around my mouth. So just wearing a mask.
Stranded? バレーボールと何でしたっけ？島に住んでて誰もいないから、バレーボールが友達になったって話？映画？何でしたっけ？あいみ見たことある？
トム・クルーズじゃなくてトム・ハンクスのキャストウェイ？
そう、キャストウェイ。みんなマスクはキャストウェイの友達になってるってこと？友達はどこだ？
But yeah, still, yeah, I feel like something is missing. So yeah, many people feel like that,
うん。
probably.
まあ気のせいだけかもしれない。まあ気のせいじゃなかったかもしれないけど、その日本に行った時に、もちろん走ってる時にめんどくさい。マスクつけるのは。
Yeah,
でも
you can't
多分その
properly
マスク
breathe.
つけなくても見られてたかもしれないけど、その私がなんかマスクつけなかった時に結構他の人の視線に敏感だった。
Oh
なんか
yeah.
見られ
Oh,
てるかな
that foreigner. Yeah. Doesn't
まあそ
wear
れ
a
そうそうそうそう
mask.
そう。で
Yeah.
私はもう、
Because he's a
もうなん
foreigner.
か頭の中で、なんか言われたら、いやいやいや、なんかここで走ってるから大丈夫です。なんか自然の中だから大丈夫ですとか、私全然なんか4ショットもらってるというか、日本でなんていうかわからないんだけど、そのコロナの
4回ワクチン打った。
そう、4回ワクチン打ったとか、その頭の中で繰り返してた、そのなんか言われたとしたら、でも何も言われなかった。でも、もちろん、見られたことは、多分5回、6回ぐらいあったと思う。でも、それも気のせいだけだった可能性もある。
まあね。
でも、とりあえず、
Yeah. I hope, yeah. It will change soon. Yeah, so that we don't have to not wear masks. Yeah.
まあ
we don't have
他
to
の
wear か。So we don't have to wear, yeah, masks. Yeah.
そう、他の言いたいことなんだけど、ウェーブ型の神おめでとう、今の、なんていうか、ウェーブ
No. I just got bangs like for the first time in forever.
それだけ。
Like,
ウェーブじゃない
yeah, that's it. Yeah. So yeah.
でも髪切ったでしょ
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. But I just want to keep this length. So yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, that's it for this week. Hi.
And we're back with the final section. And if you made it to the final section, that means you send an email to lazyfluency@gmail.com with a comment, question, language related, and or otherwise. And this week we have a new commenter. And a Japanese commenter at that.
はい。まあ、ハーフジャパニーズとハーフイングリッシュのコメントだったね。はい。
Yeah. I mean,
で、じゃあ、KS ね。
clearly,
KS さん。
clearly, yeah, native level Japanese though. So, yeah, KS. And
KS.
Aimi, you have the honors of reading the first half of the comment.
Oh yeah. はい。じゃあ、読みますと、KS さんからの。ね、先週の、完璧主義にの、ポッドキャストに対するコメントです。はい。で、これ13分ミニッツあたりかな
Yeah.
はい。に、まあ、メンションしてて、はい。他のスキル向上と比べて、言語学習の特殊な点は、まず一つ目、ネイティブという圧倒的な実力を持った存在が大量にいること。で、まあ、これが完璧の状態が明確で、完璧主義に陥りやすい。深いですね。確かに。はい。二つ目。言語はあくまで意思疎通を図るための手段でしかないこと。はい。で、これに対して、完璧であることの意義がそもそも薄い。つまり、二つ目の完璧である必要性が低いのに、一つ目、完璧でないといけないと錯覚しやすいんですよね。はい。私もその通りだと思います。
And then followed by, I've come across videos where Japanese people nitpick foreigners' Japanese, or even put them into a tier list and rank them, which I think is really toxic when you think about what the language is for in the first place. When the language is spoken, it is just meant to be understood by others, not meant to be analyzed grammatically and judged. There is no point in judging others on their language ability, if they are good enough to be understood. But it seems like this toxic mindset is pretty rampant, especially among the Japanese learning community. I hope more people overcome perfectionism and focus on what they can actually enjoy with their language skills like Joey. Thank you for the comment.
Hi.
And yeah, I definitely think the observations are very on point. Just to summarize the Japanese section, basically you're saying there are 2 points that kind of make this whole perfectionism problem. And one, as opposed to other fields, like obviously there are more things in language learning. And that was something I touched on before, where language learning is interesting. And he's saying for these 2 reasons. One, because you always have a extreme amount of masters, basically. like people, native speakers, basically, people who are extremely skilled at what you're doing. But then at the same time, languages are just a form of communication. But because you're always being contrasted, even though there's no reason that you have to be perfect because you just need to communicate, because you always have these perfect people around you, the native speakers, it makes you feel like you also have to be perfect. And it kind of like obfuscates the purpose of language, which is to communicate. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that. But to me, I kind of see it in reverse. I see it like there's so many people that are perfect, basically compared to what is achievable to like a second language speaker, or what's it called? Something as a second language, whatever. Not just ESL, but anything SL. That it kind of just makes you go like, you know what I'm saying? No reason to stress about it. There's the goal, like the bar is so unbelievably high that I just don't see it's worth. It's like the journey is just like, you know what I'm saying? It'd be like, it's like being on the line. So it's like, okay, so I see it like this. You're starting, you're in a 100-meter dash, and there's Usain Bolt like beside you, and then you realize that there's 8 million or whatever, 100 million other Usain Bolts, and the Usain Bolt beside you is not even that good compared to the other Usain Bolts. And then there's Usain Bolts within that Usain Bolt competition that make the other Usain Bolts look terrible. And you're just like an average guy who runs like a 15-second 100, trying to be Usain Bolt. And it's just like, bro, you're just not going to be Usain Bolt. And even if you were Usain Bolt, you'd be still worse than the majority of Usain Bolts. And even if you were better than the majority of Usain Bolts, you'd be worse than the Usain Bolts that beat all the other Usain Bolts. And it's just like, obviously that's true with everything, but language learning makes it so like the difference is so incredible that it's like, what are we playing about? Go ahead.
そうなんか私も今もちょっと完璧主義を持ってると思うんだけど、結構そうね、なんか間違ったりすると、なんでこんなとこ間違えてんだみたいな結構なるから、で知らない単語とかになるとこんなのも分かんないのかみたいなるから、結構そこら辺捨てないとあれだね、ちょっと毒な意識だよね、それは。
I think this kind of is a good, I don't know if we've ever talked about this directly, like why do we have the middle section of the podcast? So this is a section, the first and third sections are always I'm speaking my native language, I'm speaking our native language. From the perspective of many perfectionists, especially the Japanese side, you might look at the middle section and be like, why do you even have that? Why would they want to listen to someone's non-native English? しかもへったくそなのになんでミドルセクションやってるんだってそこで怒っているあなた。 And so there are many reasons, but part of the reason is the point that, I mean, I don't like this very toxic mindset. And so the idea was, I mean, for one, it makes us more relatable to speakers of the other language. If I was only ever speaking English, I think it would make me less like relatable to Japanese listeners and vice versa. But also I want people to realize that it's okay to speak Japanese as a non-native speaker. And I really don't feel like that's something that is actually believed in the Japanese learning community. It's so weird, like where people will preach you only can listen to native Japanese from the Hyojungo, whatever, the standard accent, and anything you're doing is actively hurting and fossilizing your bad Japanese. And I just don't think that's true. And from what I've like seen actual linguists, the people who it is their job to do the research and studying, there is like a notion of fossilization, but the most important thing that I've learned is if you deem something to be important, your brain always has what's it called? There's a term, neuroplasticity, where like if you have the desire to do something and change it and be aware of it and study, your brain always has that capability to do so. And the same even is true in accent. But in the end of the day, and like I said, the average language learner cares about communication. So I think a lot of people who are these perfectionists look at this person. He's been there for 20 years and his accent still isn't improved. Fundamentally speaking, that person simply didn't care enough. And that's not about the accent. And that's not a problem. That's fine. Like there's so many people that I know who have better, like my Japanese professor. He still has the one like in college I went to. His English is incredible. Like he is extremely well read. His command over English is extremely strong, very very strong. But he still has a slight accent, but it doesn't make him not incredible in English. And I, even as a native speaker, like I would, like, you know what I'm saying, I'd trust him. I'm saying I have a like grammar. I'm like, yo, like what are your thoughts about how to rephrase this? And I've met many like non-native speakers, so you can, like, it's just like there's so many ways, things that are just so much more important. And so part of the middle section of the podcast is also, like I say, is not just so that it's okay to speak, but realistically, what does it sound like? Yeah, I make mistakes sometimes, if not every time during the middle section at some point. But then you keep going. The conversation keeps going. And obviously I'm trying to like improve, and I notice my own mistakes. I'm not just like, I do have an improvement based mindset. 自分たちの練習のためでもあるよね。なんか。Yeah. そうで、勝手に。So, 練習しちゃってます。Yeah, unless you have any other thoughts, we can get to the next comment, which is about the same topic. Okay, I'll read it. So, oh no, so we'll keep talking, but there's another comment about the same topic from Artboy598. Another, I think we've had a comment from Artboy before. I know we have, but I'm not sure if we've addressed one on the podcast, but it's been a while. So it goes as follows. I agree about perfectionism. IME probably knows more English than me when it comes to medical terminology. Lol. There's no one who knows all vocab for every situation. Since the US has so many accents, I'm not picky about accents at all. The content of what you say matters more than anything.
ね、こういう人が増えればいいのにね。あと自分が間違っても大丈夫だよって思える人が増えるといい。
Yeah. I blame the unification of Japan under the emperor for this current situation with Japanese. Okay, obviously there are benefits to everybody being on the same page, but if there wasn't a unification enforced Hyojungo across all of Japan, Japan might be a little more American in terms of the accent thing. Because I've never heard of these YouTube channels that are make people Japanese, and I'm not trying to hate on anybody, but all I'm saying is if there was ever a country that had the right to hate on other people's language abilities, Japan would not be at the top of that. That's all I'm saying about that with the average English ability of Japan in their education system. So just putting that, if we're gonna hate on ability, you know what I'm saying? Like China, North Korea, South Korea. I mean, obviously, I don't think on average North Korea is probably doing better than Japan, but like, you got somebody has to check. You have to check yourself. But what I was saying is that I feel like there wouldn't be, especially like what I call like the Tokyo-itis, with people from Tokyo thinking that they're subtly better than everybody else, is if we literally just go back in time, but before the 1900s, like whatever, people probably would be more used to hearing accents of all different kinds with Japanese as opposed to like always Hyojunko. Yeah, I'm saying, I think, yeah, and Japan does have a lot of accents. It does, in dialects. And with more differences between them than American ones, because I think they're classified as dialects because they have different grammar and everything. And so
グラマーは一緒じゃないの？あれ単語が違うだけじゃないの？
No. Like we talk about kansai ben all the time, but the way that grammar is affected, like in Japanese is a agglutinative, so the verbs are what are changed meaning, and the way you change verbs changes within dialects. So I mean that's a grammatical function. So like the kansai ben, when I told you that morao becomes moro, and like it's not just one word, it's all verbs. But I mean it's not a fundamental change. It's not like verbs do something completely different. So it's like a small thing. But yeah, I mean I do find it interesting. Like, and it reminds me of this is a comment I think I received on like the main video about katakana, where somebody was getting mad because I was like, oh, katakana has been around for so long, how dare you rant about katakana? And it was a whole, this guy was just all triggered. And my thing is like, when we're talking about language, and especially when I'm talking about language, I'm talking about it as it is relevant to speakers and learners of modern day. I'm not some archaeologist going around here talking about Japanese from, or I guess the linguist or whatever. Like, obviously obviously, when I'm talking about the Japanese community nitpickiness, I'm not talking about it Japanese community and the nitpickiness of the Portuguese coming into Japan learning Japanese. Like what? It's all about like modern times and like modern experience of the language, because that's what's relevant to learners. That was just kind of a side thing, but I just thought it was one of the dumbest takes I've ever heard, to be like, how can you have these critiques about something that are only relevant within the last 60, 70 years? You know, the time that everybody's currently alive in. I'm like, okay, I'll critique what Genji Monogatari or something. But anyways, that was a little rambly. I mean, do you have any more thoughts about perfectionism before we
いや、
make
も
our
う
peace?
全部言いたいことは言ってくれたって感じだからいいっす。
Okay. I guess what else we'll say with his terminology thing. Are you confident in your medical terminology?
いや、まあ、なんだろう。言われればわかるけど、自分からは出ないかもしれない。なんか文字を見て、
That's the first step in using them, though. You know what I'm saying?
まあね、文字見て、あ、これがこういう意味だなっていうのはわかる。と思う。普通の人よりは。
Okay.
そうそう。
I mean, I don't mention it that much, but for reasons, I go through like there's something called the USMLE, which is like the United States Medical Library.
違う、medical licensing exam だよ。
Oh, sorry, not the USMLE. What's it called? Oh my God, what is it called? SNOMED. Sorry, SNOMED. And there's another one called the US something, which is a medical library base of terms and concepts. And for various reasons, I've had to go through them many times. So I actually, even though I'm not a med school student, I have a decent what's it called? Medical terminology in my head. That's kind of just completely unrelated. But yeah, thank you so much for the comments. Getting 2 new comments is nice. Keep up the new comments. If you've been listening for a while and you've never commented, send a comment. And especially for an Apple, drop an Apple review. We'd appreciate it.
そうやな。
That bell means we've reached the end of today's episode. Thanks for joining us in another lazy conversation towards fluency. If you have any language-related questions and or just looking for general advice, send an email to lazyfluency@gmail.com and we might respond in the next episode. Also, make sure to check out our podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and more. We'd appreciate the support. This has been Joey.
And Ayumi.
Signing off. じゃあねー。
じゃあねー。